I'm a real nerd. People say I'm a fool, but they never got the news that I'm a vile one. Oh yeah, I'm a vile one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel dialed, 'cause you're watching Vile Mike and his real wild child. Oh yeah, I'm a vile one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel dialed, 'cause you're watching Vile Mike and his real wild child.
What up, peoples? I'm Katty Knight, and here with me today is the genius himself, Vile Mike.
Well, it's nice to finally be recognized as a genius by my daughter. Also, howdy, folkses.
This week we watched the 7th episode of Netflix's Voltron, Legendary Defender.
A.K.A. Die Hard in the Castle Lions Part 2. Lion Harder.
I still don't get that reference.
Alright, after this we are going to watch Die Hard.
Yay? Well, this episode starts off where the last one left off. To give you a little recap, Pidge is trapped in the Castle of Lions with a group of Galra soldiers that have taken it over. Shiro and Lance have been captured, with Lance injured and in need of medical attention, and Allura and Keith are stuck outside the castle.
Also, Bungus and Hunk are off on a B-plot to get a new crystal power source thing.
Sednek is listening into Allura telling Pidge how to disable the castle and sends trips to kill Pidge.
Meanwhile, Bungus and Hunk are trying to get help from these two, in order to hide from a patrol.
When we cut back to Pidge, we get an extended backstory flashback, explaining stuff about her family before the Kerberos mission, the reports on its failure, and Pidge's attempts to get information, including sneaking into Drill Sergeant McNasty's office. When she is caught, they kick her off of the academy grounds.
Pidge is attacked in a room with purple energy all over the place, which is there because shut up plot. So Allura telepathically sends the space vermin to help.
Pidge hides behind that thing and outsmarts the Galra troops with a hologram, runs past them, then uses her hookshot to reach an air vent. On the other side of the air vent is the training room, where she's attacked again.
She uses the room's invisible maze walls to cut off one of their arms and escape into another vent. I like the callback to the invisible maze.
You did that on purpose!
She is attacked again in the air vent, and even gets shot in the back, but her armor takes the blow.
It's good to see Team Voltron doesn't use the same armor as Stormtroopers.
She manages to drag her attacker into the shaft, and almost falls herself, but Rover to the rescue!
We switch to Hunk and Bungus, who are getting some backstory from the locals. They have been enslaved by Zarkon to mine the power crystals, and the planet is also kind of alive. The slaves are willing to help them, except for this guy, and Hunk and Bungus are told a crystal the size that they need is almost excavated, but it's under guard. Bungus tells Hunk to repair the ship while he goes to do some recon. I wonder how he'll screw this up.
Pidge is still crawling through the ductwork when we get another flashback. This is where we see her transformation from Katie Holt into Pidge Gunderson to sneak into the Garrison Academy, along with when she first meets Hunk and Lance. We also get to see how her disguise is able to fool Drill Sergeant McNasty.
We move back with Hunk, who's having a conversation with one of the alien slaves while fixing the ship. He tries to instill some hope in her by telling her about Voltron, but her brother, the angry alien from before, tells him not to.
While the Galra engineer guy is trying to power up the castle, Pidge hacks a panel to send a current through the floor and walls, using Rover to float down and avoid the electricity.
She tries to fight the engineer with her hook shot, but is clearly outmatched by a real soldier. He's about to finish her off, but...
Rover to the rescue! First by distracting the engineer, then by knocking him over the ledge, and finally sacrifices himself when the engineer grabs him. Rover was second best character. How could they do him that dirty?
Over the radio, Kitty McOne-Eye...
Sendak.
Whatever. Tells Pidge to surrender or he will kill Sveno.
Shiro.
Whatever. But back on the alien mining planet, Bungus has formulated a cunning plan to sneak past the robots guarding the crystal they need. Oh, for f***'s sake.
Translation of what my dad said is that Karan gets on Hunk's shoulders, holds a robot head, and ends up hiding under a big cloak.
Bungus's cunning plan is stolen from the little rascals.
Try 8. 8?
Heard enough.
It didn't fool Mel Brooks, and it's not gonna fool the robots. So Hunk just fires his big cannon while Bungus, points at it. Suggestively. Fortunately, he's rewarded by getting his back snapped when he tries to lift the crystal. Oh, and more robots show up and they are captured.
Then we get a brief scene where Sendak monologues to Shiro before going back to Karan and Hunk in a prison cell. They are then released by the slave from earlier, whose name is Shay, by the way. She then tells them that she already has loaded the crystal into their ship. How convenient.
But they're betrayed by her brother, and she's captured. Hunk and Bungus just leave her and flee. Our heroes, everybody.
She told them to leave!
Yeah, but this show is clearly influenced heavily by Stargate, and the number one rule they have is we never leave anyone behind.
We don't leave our people behind.
Well, Hunk does end up promising to come back.
And that makes it all better.
At the castle again, we see the mice not only lower the shield, but take out one of the Galrus soldiers, allowing Keith and Alora to get in.
Finally, Pidge McLean confronts Hans McGruber Kitty. She tries to do the hologram trick again, but he's not fooled. Kitty McOne-Eye is about to crush Pidge with his big old robo hand when an injured Lance manages to shoot the purple space cat.
Even when injured, Lance is still more useful than Cran.
Agreed.
Then Shiro, Keith, and Pidge are all able to take on Sendak, and Alora is able to lock him into a force field.
Hunk and Bungus are able to flee with the crystal, which is now used to power up the castle, and Lance can be put in the sarcophagus. Healing pod.
After everything, Pidge and Hunk both decide to stay with Team Voltron. And end of episode. So, Dad, what did you think?
Just like Die Hard. The sequel's good, but not perfect.
So you actually like this episode?
Except for the B plot, yeah,
Is it because it just references Die Hard?
pretty much. And Stargate.
Of course. Okay, so I do want to say this. This episode, I have a lot of respect for. It actually introduces one of my favorite characters. While she's not seen much throughout the show, I love Shay. She's adorable, she's loyal. I just love everything about Shay. I don't care about Cran. His antics were stupid and most times annoying. But at the end of the day, I love this episode. And Dad,
What?
do the thing!
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Bye-bye!
Later, folkses.
This channel is sponsored by SDGameSwap. If you're into nerd stuff, you might find something you like there. They have books, movies, video games, toys and collectibles, and they even do consignment. They are also on Facebook, so go buy something. Links in the description.
Buy something at SDGameSwap, or I'm going to put all of you in a cargo container and transport you to the Borg.
Also, Bungus and Heath are on a B plot to get a new What'd I say?
Heath.
Sorry. Also, Bungus and Hunk are off on a... Also, Bungus and Heath... I said Heath again. From this, because it's not one I'm familiar with. You skipped this whole line.
I saw.
You're gonna have to do the whole thing.
I know. Pidge behind a thing.
Pidge behind a thing.
Yes.
That's not even close to the line.
I know. Pidge is still crawling through the ductwork.
Duct.
I know I said ductwork.
You gotta do that line again because you sound like a robot.
I am robot.
I am Bender, insert girder.
As well as
Yes, I used the wrong version of meat. Just get over it and say the line.
As well as when she meets Hunk and Lance. I can't take that seriously. Along with when she meets... I want to say Hans. We've now mixed Hunk with Lance and hunk with Keith. We get a brief... Your phone's annoying.
Finally, Pidge McLean confronts Hans McGruber Kitty. Sorry, I gotta say that with a straight face without you laughing.